Scouting time. A couple days before the opener, we got a group of cows coming right up the ridge. That's awesome. A bunch of them too. There's 7. So, calves and cows. No bulls yet. There's gotta be one somewhere though. Might be hard to tell, but there's 7 cows right there. Those little dads.
There's 8.
8 now.
Yeah. Another one just popped out.
Okay. And there's 2 in front, so that's 10. So, yeah, 10 so far.
And finally, it was opening day. Right here, I'm sitting at a pond. It's about 4 p.m. Stefan and I hiked in deeper in the afternoon because in the morning we went to a closer pond where we had set up a trail cam and we had seen lots of cow elk come in pretty regularly. And I was so hopeful that I would be able to harvest my cow opening morning there. But wouldn't you know, public land. Another hunter came in a half hour after we sat down, and we obviously showed him we were there. He took off, but then 2 hours later, a second hunter came in, and that was right around the time that we expected the elk. So we were pretty disappointed, decided this afternoon, that's it. We're going way further to areas that we had scouted in the past. And this pond here where I'm sitting, we had seen really good mule deer sign, and I was pretty hopeful. So I get settled in. Stefan went a mile away to try to hunt his bull and fill his bull elk tag. And at about 5:30, I finally had some excitement. All the birds just flew off at once. The squirrels and the chipmunks scattered, and this huge group of cows stampeded in. They provided me entertainment for about a half hour. I watched them drink around the pond, and after they finished drinking, they ate a bit, and everything got quiet for about a half hour. And at about 6:30, all I see is rack after rack after rack piling into the pond. I couldn't believe my eyes. I was so excited. My adrenaline started to rush. A bachelor group of 7 mule deer piled into the pond in front of me. So they basically started to drink. Most of them started to drink, and a couple of them just kind of stayed back and stood watch and were eating a little bit. I didn't really have a shot because most of them were facing me, and I knew I had time because I knew they'd be at that pond drinking for a while. And wouldn't you know, the very last one to come in is the biggest one of all. He had a nice rack, and of course I set my eyes on him. So I watched them drink for a while, and finally they all kind of started to turn around one after another, and they started to walk in the opposite direction from me through that brush that you see behind the pond. And there was just 2 left drinking at the pond. And when the big one lifted up his head and turned, I thought, oh, this is it. He's going to leave. I have to draw back now. So I knew that the yardage at the edge of the pond, I saw him take a few steps, so I tried to compensate, but I didn't realize how far he had got when I took the shot. He was much further than I realized. I noticed when I looked back at the film that I had taken, and I clear missed. So I get a text from Stefan, how you doing? I told him, I just missed a shot at a beautiful buck, and he tells me, I just shot a bull.
And there he is. I can't believe it. Opening night, and I have a bull down. It all happened so fast, so I wasn't able to get the shot on camera. So I'll give you a quick recap. I was sneaking into an area that had a little pond with a lot of great elk signs. So as I was cresting over the hill that overlooked the pond, I spotted a lone cow that was looking directly in my direction. So we locked eyes for a while before she decided to let out a series of barks some of the loudest barks I have ever heard. So I tried to defuse the situation by letting out a few cow calls, a couple bugles, see if I could get a bolt to sound off. And sure enough, I heard a faint bugle coming from the draw next to me. So I figured they was gonna come around and try to get my wind. So I circled around myself and figured they would be coming up the hill. Since I had the perfect wind, it was just a great situation. Even though he only bugled once, I could hear different squirrels barking as he was coming up the ridge, which really helped me pick up the perfect spot. So I wasn't set up for 30 seconds when I could hear his footsteps and I could even see the top of his rack approaching fast. I drew back as soon as he went behind the tree and I let it fly when he was around 20 yards. As he ran down the hill, I could see my arrow had hit the mark and with plenty of penetration to boot. So I sat there in disbelief and just couldn't wait to tell Allison about what just happened.
So we're going for the second pack out. We're gonna get the front shoulders out. Barely had any sleep, went to bed at 2 a.m. So we're at it, 7:30. Woke up around 6. Let's do it. It's gonna be awesome. So we just came in for the second pack out. We have 2 front shoulders left. They're hanging up the tree right there. You'll see in a moment. Check the camera. I put a camera because I have a bear tag archery. Hopefully they come in. They haven't come in yet. I just checked. And yeah, that's the bull in all its glory right here. No giant, but I could be happier. And some people might say, well, it's got to have 4 points, but it's actually 4 points over 5 inches is brow tine. So that's way more than 5 inches. Way, way more. So when I saw those, I knew it was legal. At 20 yards, I couldn't resist. So we're about to start the second pack out. To make it easier on themselves, I'm going to debone. It'll be a lot lighter because we're going 3 miles straight up. So it's a lot of work through blowdowns. So let's get the show on the road. My friend Moochie calls me Frenchie the Red Squirrel. And I'm about to show you why. Super easy if you've never done. It definitely helps if you have it hanging like that so you're not on the ground breaking your back. So, just like it says, deboning means all you're doing is just removing everything but the bone. So you just follow the bone and then you pretty easy. On this side, trimming around here, but how easy was this, you know? Super easy. pretty clean considering we're in that wilderness here. Got our first bag full. Nice meat. Santa Claus came early this year.
Hey, nothing like morning of day 2, packing out a bowl. Stefan did a great job, great shot. He worked so hard. Finished at 2 a.m. last night, and we're back at it early this morning. I got the easy part in my back. He has the 2 front shoulders. He and Kane packed out last night, the hindquarters and the back strap, so we're doing good. Keep it on trucking.
We're doing good, like Allison said. Couple nice front shoulders there, and we're doing pretty good this morning. Moving pretty fast.
Well, we decided after all that work of packing out the bowl, we would go to the river and the hot spring, cool off, and take a nice bath in the hot springs in town. We had to go to town anyway because we have the processor just hang the meat so it stays nice and cool in their refrigerator and we don't have to worry about it because we knew we still had a good week to fill a couple more tags. So that was the river, and here we are at the hot spring. There's a pipe and this water comes out piping hot. So it was the perfect place to get to rinse off, wash the hair, clean up a bit, and soothe those muscles that really needed soothing after a 2-hour pack out with a bowl on our back.
It's morning of day 3. I decided to sneak up on the elk carcass, figuring maybe there'd be a bear there already. As I show up, there's coyotes everywhere, so I just tried to sneak as close as I can. I'm about 20 yards right now, and lo and behold, a bear shows up.
Hey! The birds are on their carcass already. I gave the bear a half hour to expire, and the coyotes in the darn. That's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Look at that. Wow. Here's the bear. Wow. A lot of blood right here. The bear didn't go 50 yards from where I shot it. And there he lays. I give it a half hour just to be sure, even though there's a good blood trail. And the coyotes were already on it. The birds were going nuts. It's crazy. Allison was 200 yards up from me. I went and got the bear. Comes walking through this meadow right here, and I didn't have my camera yet set up on here. I didn't put the clamp, so I figured, well, let me put the clamp. So as the bear's eating, I'm putting the clamp on, and the bear's only 20 yards, and most right behind that tree right there, so I could see the head peeking in and out. And all of a sudden, it was getting a little jittery, so I had my backpack, pack frame. I had a lot of stuff on me, and I just slowly pulled it off so I could draw back without making noise. Sure enough, the wind started swelling, it started coming up, and it went on the log, stood and looked, that log over there, and as it looked there, I was able to draw as it looked away, and then it started going over it. It was quartering away, and I let it rip. Yeah.
Wow, this is a
Beautiful.
beautiful bear.
Beautiful.
Boy, oh boy.
Yeah.
Look at these arms.
Giant. Well,
This
giant.
bear.
It's not a big bear, but you know,
Wow.
it's a good sized bear. By no means a giant.
That bear is a beauty.
Yeah.
The fur is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Just gorgeous. It's lighter. Last
Yeah.
year's was very
Dark.
black.
Wow, it is really
This
nice.
one is like
Wow.
light brown. It looks lighter in person than what I'm seeing in
And it's
the camera.
It's thick, you know.
What a beautiful coat.
So I
Good
got
job,
oh, look at that.
Stefan.
So
Wow.
I got it from the back as she was quartering away from me as she was leaving. I say she, but you know, you can see the little titties here. You can tell she's dry, obviously. I mean, she hasn't been.
Look at this blood.
And I must have gripped the aorta or something. When it came right through and, you know, got all the vitals. So, couldn't be happier.
Congratulations on your bear.
Well, pretty exciting. And now it's even more exciting. I get to help Allison. But
I have a full-time guide now for my 2 tags.
look at that.
So I'm pretty psyched that Stefan is tagged out.
Look how small the eyes are. I mean,
Yeah, for
it's really
such a big
amazing.
animal.
They're big, and the eyes are really small.
Really small.
And look at the nice collar.
She's gorgeous.
Yeah, she is.
She is gorgeous, and she's going to feed us well.
Yeah,
Big
look at
paws.
that paw. Nice claws.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we're going to get to work?
Yes, very much so. Because it's warm, you know, and we got to get that meat out. We got to hang some of the meat, and we got to pack it out. Thank God Allison's with me. We're going to do it in one trip, and then we'll be out of here in a jiffy.
Well, we finished quartering the bear, and believe it or not, Stefan has the entire bear plus the hide on his back, and I just have the two of our backpacks with all of our gear. And I don't know how he does it, but somehow he manages. He
3 miles.
packed out a bull 2 nights ago in the middle of the night, went to bed at 2 a.m., finished packing it out yesterday morning,
2 front shoulders.
brought it to town, had a little swim in the river in the hot spring, came back this morning, shot his bear, and has the entire bear, which I do feel bad about. If you're wondering, yes, I do feel bad. But he has the entire bear on his back.
3 miles.
And I have all of our gear. He has his bow too.
Yeah.
So I'm the lucky one, and I'm lucky that my husband is so strong and such a good hunter, providing us lots of meat. And now we have a 3-mile, practically uphill trek back to camp to take care of the meat. We'll try to stay out of the sun as much as we can. There's some areas where you just can't help it, but we're gonna try to stay in the shade and get out of here as quickly as humanly possible.
I really feel like lounging around, but right now I feel pretty happy, just my legs up here, getting my sandwich. Happy camper. That was a lot of work. I'm not gonna lie, it's the most work I think I've ever done. Last year we got 2 elk in 3 days. We did 3 pack out like that, 2,000 feet. This is a little worse. Because last year, it was a bull and a cow, but this is a little worse.
It's just worse because it's right now.
Maybe.
If this was last year and that was right now,
That's
that
true.
one would have been worse.
And it takes about a few months to forget, then you want to do it again, you're all excited.
It's like having a baby.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
You forget the pain,
Yeah.
and the meat is so good.
Yeah, and then you want to do it again. Can't wait. 'Cause yeah, exactly, the meat is so great. Now it's Allison's turn. I'm gonna film. I'm gonna get some better footage, obviously. Because we both like to hunt. That's the tough part. So that's why I just had a little camera. I just bought it. Allison had the GoPro. I got a different one, a Castle. We'll see how the footage turns out. But at least I tried. The bear came through. I could have shot it, but then I put the camera on and put my pack down. I was less than 20 yards from the bear. It was probably 15. And he put his head down and I moved a little bit. Eventually moved off and got a shot off. So half hour most probably. So
Give me some good bear sausage, I promise you.
After some food and some rest, it was time to get cleaned up. And this is how we normally clean up when we're hunting in this area. Somebody hooked up this pipe to this spring, and I will tell you, this water comes out ice cold. It is so freezing cold, it actually stings at first. It's colder than anything I've ever felt. But you know what? By the end of it, you kind of start getting used to it, and when you're all nice and clean and smelling fresh, I'll tell you what, you feel pretty darn terrific. So later that evening, our friend Kane decided that he was going to go sit at the elk carcass since he also had a bear tag. This was his very first bear hunt, and with the bow, he said it was pretty darn exciting. He climbed his climber up a tree, and he wasn't in that tree for 20 minutes when this bear came in, and this bear gave him a pretty good show. He was chowing down on that bull as if he was at an all-you-could-eat buffet. He watched the bear for a while, and take a look at what happens.
Never found my arrow, and not one drop of blood the whole way down here. So it's a good thing I saw where he went. Seems like he's all done. Oh yeah. This is awesome. Didn't go very far, maybe 100 yards, of course, all downhill. So, alright, let's go to work.
Now it's the morning of day 4, and Stefan and I are doing some spotting and stalking. We worked our way through some dark timber, and we spotted a couple of really nice mule deer. So we decided to try to follow them. We didn't really see exactly where they went, but a few minutes later, we have a beautiful aspen grove on the right. We look to our right, and the whole group of mule deer from opening afternoon were all in this aspen grove eating. And I don't know if our wind swirled and they caught our wind or if something else spooked them, but all of a sudden, 2 of them just start running right at us. At the last second, Stefan makes a little noise and they pivot off, but my adrenaline was going. I was shaking like a leaf. I never had 2 deer run straight at me like that before. And just when I think that it's all over and it was a missed opportunity, another buck walks right in front of us at 30 yards. Stefan stops him. He's a little bit on edge. I'm shaking like a leaf. I take my shot at 30 yards. He jumps my string. I clear miss, and my arrow goes into a dead log behind him. And it was the second shot that I had at a beautiful buck that I missed. So for the next few days, we continued to hunt really hard, and we had a few close encounters, but nothing had panned out. Then we got word from a friend who told us that a big winter storm was coming our way, and when we looked, we were shocked to see that we could get up to a foot of snow. So we definitely wanted to get out before that storm hit. We really weren't prepared. That left us with one more morning, the morning of day 7. Stefan and I decided he would do some calling, set me up, try to call in a cow elk. And wouldn't you know, a couple elk appear, and as they get closer, we see that they're 2 spike. One of them came into 20 yards. And even though I didn't have a bull tag and spike aren't legal, just to get that close to an elk is an amazing experience. And you know what? Bow season is a whole month long. I wouldn't be able to come back until the last weekend, but I'm more motivated than ever to try to fill my tag.
It's snowing good. The plow is out. Look at that. And I'm glad we left early. Oh, just cracked the windshield. Figures. We're in Colorado. Happens all the time. September 8th in the Rockies here. Who would have guessed that we'd be dealing with a snowstorm here? I wouldn't, that's for sure.
Just had a bull bugle. We're gonna see if we can get him a little pissed off. Right there, right. He's coming in. He chuckled. He just chuckled. He's really close. That's a big one. He's right there.
Well, we had fun talking to that bull, but he was hanging up. He wasn't coming in, and it didn't sound like he had any cows with him. And I don't have a bull tag, I have a cow tag, and we don't have that much more time tonight. So we're going to let that bull be. We're going to move on, see if we can't catch up with the cow. I just shot a muley doe. It's the end of the season. I had never got a chance to film my cow tag or my deer tag when we were here first week. And so Stefan and I came back just for the weekend, hoping that I could at least notch one of them. So we've been at it all day Friday, all day Saturday. We got in really late Thursday night, like the middle of the night. We're exhausted. Now it's Sunday morning. It's about 11 o'clock. We just came up on a group of mule deer that we jumped and they ran off. We took a few more steps and I looked to my left and I'm locked-eyed staring at a big doe. She's like this, looking back at me. I had to freeze for a while, and then there was another little buck with her, but I didn't really have a shot at him. He was through the trees. So every time she turned her head, I got a little bit more in position. And I mean, it seemed like a while. I don't know how long it was that she was staring at me lock-eyed and I was just frozen. And finally she turned her head and I got a shot at about 30 yards. So I'm really excited, as you can tell. We're gonna go and we're gonna check and see if we can find my arrow, see if we can see any blood, and see if I did a good shot and if we can find her.
I'm really proud of us. We came through. I was still looking to the right where the other deer went off, and she picked up those two deer. I was able to range, so I couldn't do it all. I ranged so I didn't have the camera on, but it's all right. It all worked out. From what I could tell, it sounded like a good hit. I didn't actually see it. I had a tree in front of me, but by the sound of it, it sounded good. it's really we only had a couple hours. We're on our way back, checking out a whole new area, and see what happens. But I'm pretty excited.
The arrow is right here.
Dang. Straight down. It must have gone right through her.
Here's my arrow. And
Oh,
it
wow.
looks like
That's a lot of blood.
all the way down the entire
Oh, yeah.
length of the arrow, all the way down to my nock.
Good go.
I saw her go run this way.
Yeah.
So let's see if we can find a blood trail.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that there's a blood trail by the looks of all the blood on this.
That's a good sign. That's a great sign. I mean, look at the fletching. Yeah, that's looks pretty lethal. But let's see what the blood trail looks like. Wow, Allison, look at the blood on the tree. That's crazy. Can't really see Allison because of the shade, but I just picked up some blood. I'm not seeing anything on the ground. And then all of a sudden, I'm looking ahead. Look at the blood. That's crazy. That's a whole... Wow, look at that blood.
That's some splatter.
Yeah. I mean, whoa. We're only 20 yards into the blood trail.
There's some drops right there.
Yeah.
Oh, there's some on that one.
There's a bunch of logs ahead, so there should be some. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh yeah. Blood everywhere. Everywhere. So I can see the blood trail for 20 yards away. All the logs are covered in blood. Look at that. So, pretty easy blood trail.
Thank God.
Yeah. That's awesome, Allison.
Okay.
She can't be far, literally.
Put this
We'll go another 50 yards, and if we don't see her, we'll back off a little bit, but I think we'll see her.
just in case
Yeah.
I have to put a second.
Yeah. Just, you never know. It's always smart to. But with this kind of blood, really, she should be dead.
So she went this way.
Oh yeah, you can see the blood everywhere. Blood all over both sides still. She's got to be close. She's right.
We just found her. She didn't go far at all. She's laying dead right here.
Yeah, the last log I showed you guys was right in there. So we came around the bend, so she didn't go 60 yards to her. She's right there. Actually, I got a whiff of her. Oh yeah, look at the size of that doe, Allison.
I'm telling you, she's a big doe.
Wow, perfect shot. Allison did a perfect shot.
Thank God. She didn't suffer at all. She went down quick.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that we didn't give her too much time because she literally did not go but maybe 50 yards and she dropped.
Yeah.
And
Beautiful
I'll tell
doe.
you what, we had some excitement. I had a cow tag and a deer tag, so we did some cow calling, called in bulls, of course. I didn't have a bull tag, I had a cow tag. Friday we called in a bull screaming. Saturday we called in a bull screaming, and we got close to some other deer, but I just didn't have a shot through the brush, or we jumped to them.
Yeah.
We saw some cows. We saw a cow and a calf that we came up on, but I didn't have a shot. They were just a little out of my range.
And you said you
through
didn't
too
want to
much
take one
brush.
anyways. You didn't want
I
to.
was feeling a little bad to take
Yeah.
a cow with her calf, so I was okay with that. But man, time was running out. We had some close calls, but I'm still kind of in shock because I really didn't think it was going to happen for me this year. But here she is, a beautiful, beautiful doe. She's going to feed us well. Thank you, Stefan, for helping me and guiding me the last 3 days plus the opening week. It's been an awesome year, bow season 20, and I don't know what more to say. We got to get to work.
Yeah.
We got to get going, and we got to pack her out. We're really far. We have quite a pack out, and we got to get home because we have work tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we just started trying to get her out of the sun. Stefan said she might be the heaviest doe he's ever pulled.
There's not even a close second. This thing's a tank. Whew.
She's really a big girl.
Good shot, Allison. Perfect shot.
Wow.
And she is a heavy one. She's a heifer. But we're doing good. It's gonna be a pack out. This is the furthest pack out we've ever done here. I shot my bull, I don't know, 200 yards from here. Maybe a little more, like 250. And that was the farthest.
Was far.
This is even further.
Yeah, we came way in.
We've never
way
actually
in.
been this far.
And look what happens.
Yeah, beautiful doe.
I'm so excited.
Like that. All the spinuses, transverse processes.
It's the best cut right there in the back strap. Tender as all get out.
Yeah, peels right off.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Not bad for a doe.
Yeah.
Now for the inside loin.
Yeah.
That's the filet mignon.
Well, a lot of people wonder with the gutless method, how do you actually access those? But it's actually pretty easy because it's right there in front of the spine along the back. So you can actually reach and trim it out and take it right out, and I'll show you. So yeah, I just want to separate it. You gotta be careful. You don't want to cut the gut material, obviously, because then it turns into a mess, and you don't want to taint the meat. That's the only tricky, you know, little tricky thing with it. Not that tricky, but so yeah, you slide your hand, follow the top right here, like I'm doing. Create a little space. Cut right along the back there, and then you just keep going until you got it off the bone there. Again, you gotta be careful so you don't. Yeah, about done here. So I should be able to, yeah, just like that, pull it out. Look at this, peels right off. Bingo. Not a huge piece of meat, but guess what? We're gonna put it on the grill later. It's gonna be phenomenal. See how clean it is? So it can easily be done. Just gotta take your time, make sure you don't hit the gut, and you got yourself an amazing piece of meat with the gutless method. You don't even have to gut it. So I brought my little Dexter knife here. This is a Dexter 1674.5. This works great for skinning. I used to use it for beavers. Tell you something, pretty awesome. I'll show you. You're gonna go at an angle you can see me. Might be able to break a world record here. How quickly I can skin this critter. A lot of people have never heard of these knives, but they mean business. That's for sure. So if you're by yourself, you can do a little leg lock like this. It's nice when you have somebody else to help. Allison usually does that, but I'm just trying to show you. You can easily get it done. The little Greco-Roman moves here. Maybe not. Maybe that's not a Greco-Roman, but sure feels like it right now. I think she's tapping out. So here's a little tip. When it's just the two of us, we don't need two backpacks. So we only carry one, and then I have the pack frame. So I attach our elbow stock onto the pack frame, so that way when this happens and we're way far in, all I have to do is take the backpack off, strap in some meat. Allison will be carrying some too, and we'll be ready to roll instead of having to go back and get a pack frame, or both of us have to carry a pack. Really, there's no need. Just pack frame on underneath, and you know, it's comfortable enough. Not to say it's the most comfortable, but it works pretty good. That's how we've been doing it. So I'm going to attach the meat on, take this off, and start a pack out.
A lot of logs to climb over,
yeah.
But
there's a reason nobody comes here. It's log galores, like jungle gym. It's not bad when you don't have meat on your back. When you do have meat, changes things a little bit. And the bigger climb begins. This is pretty straight up. Somehow that's the theme of our pack out. That's where we go, steep and deep. So, I want to seam it, but let's go work out. Doing a stair climber without stairs. Low grunting gets it done every time. That's when the thighs start to burn. But thank goodness that you got meat on your back. This is a great problem to have.
It's no joke. Usually we film the first 5 steps. Now we're more than midway back. We have one more hill and then we're on our last trail. So it's all downhill, I guess you can say, from here. Not truly
literally,
downhill, but we've gone more than halfway for sure. And I'll tell you what, it may just be 2 front shoulders of a deer, but it's quite a pack out anyway, because I mean, just where we are, just hiking out here with nothing on your back.
You got gear in there too. You got all kinds of gear.
That's true, and lots of snacks that we didn't get to eat.
Water.
But yeah, we're almost there.
Yeah.
And you know what? We always give thanks to the beautiful animal, and she's going to feed us well. And when we struggle like this for our dinner, makes us appreciate it that much more. And when we are home packaging it up and making some meals, we'll remember this weekend, we'll remember this month, we'll remember the experience, the beauty that Colorado bow hunting is. And
the whole year, really, every time we eat
we'll
it.
be giving thanks all year.
Up, up, and away. It's the last climb. She's doing great. Couldn't be more proud of her. She's turned out to be quite a huntress. Who would have guessed? Jersey girl turned huntress. With the bow nonetheless.
And just like that, we did it. We made it back to our camper. That's our camper that we were telling you about a little while ago. Hung the meat in the trees over there to keep it nice and cool. We're just gonna pack everything, close up our camper, and we're gonna be headed home with a nice mule deer to add to Stefan's bull and bear. It was quite a bow season.
This is what it's all about right here. The points on the bull don't really matter. As long as it's legal, this right here is why we go hunting. For joining us once again on Catch and Dinner. It's been quite a bow season. A bear, a bull, and a deer. Oh my. So we will see you next time on our next episode. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. To all of you who have already subscribed, thank you so much for supporting our channel and what we do. Meat hunting is what it's all about for us. It's not about the size of the antlers or the size of the animal, really. It's about getting out here, chasing our dinner, getting fresh, wild, organic meat that you can't buy in a store on our dinner plate. That's what it's all about. So if that's what you want to see more of and you want to learn how to do that for yourself, join us on future episodes of Catch and Dinner. Till then, we're out.